Good morning. It is 36 degrees. You can see my breath. Last night we just released the first of our winter trips, the 2026 Winter Icebreaker Getaway. And I wanted to take a moment, because it's that kind of season, to talk about diesel heaters. There's been a lot of changes over the past year. We're going to be welcoming a new sponsor and partner aboard. And I want to show you some things that I've been working with and heaters that I've been testing that I think you'll find really interesting. So last year we brought aboard LFBros as our newest heater partner. I've been running them for a couple of years now. We've had a few of our trail leaders and other people in our group that have been running them for a while now, and they are absolutely incredible heaters. They are worth every penny of what you purchase them for, and I'm going to get into some tips and tricks that I've figured out with them over the past year as well that I think you'll find really interesting too. But the first thing that I want to talk about is a brand new partner for 207 Overland. These guys make fantastic heaters. They also make other 12-volt products for camper builds and things like that. But the company is called Vellet. They've got these all-in-one heaters that are absolutely fantastic. I've been running this one for since this past spring, and I know it hasn't been, cold enough to necessarily need one over the summer, but I've been up in places that are pretty far north that get really cold, especially up in higher elevations overnight. So having this was actually really nice. It's also really cool just to be able to dry your tent out in the morning. If you're someplace where there's a lot of condensation or it rains overnight, firing a heater up just for a half hour in the morning can actually take all that moisture out and make so you get to put away a dry tent instead of a wet one. Now this particular heater is an all-in-one. They do sell just the bare heater as well without this case that you can get if you don't want the all-in-one unit, but it is quite nice. It is in a small Pelican style case. Everything is built into it, all of your connections, venting, it's all right there. All of the electronics, the hoses, everything that it comes with fits inside of that case, so you don't have any external components to it. One thing that's really cool is the heat output here. This is a magnetic coupling, so you put the magnetic end on the hose that comes with it and it just clips on. You don't have to screw it into place. You don't have to worry about it falling off. It's a very strong, awesome connection. Now this is running currently. If you can hear it, it is very, very quiet. Heat output from the exchanger currently is 367 degrees, so quite hot. And the other cool thing, I've got it plugged into our jackery here. It is pulling between 13 and 15 watts. Very efficient. You can see that with this 2000 watt power unit, I would get about 73 and a half hours of runtime on a 97% charge. So that's very, very good. Heaters in general, once they get going, they sip power, but this one in particular is very, very efficient. Now, opening up the case so you can see the internals, you will start to hear it running now that the internals are open here, but this is what the heater looks like. As you can see, everything else is built in. You've got the pump in the back, which when this thing is closed, you can't hear that ticking, which is very nice. Shielded exhaust, air intake. The controller I have sitting right inside the case for now, but you could, if you'd like to, plug into the top here and run that controller into your tent, which is very nice because it's got built-in CO2 detection, and you can do all your controlling right from that. Again, with the case closed, very quiet. Other cool thing about it is this one is Bluetooth compatible, so you've got an app on your phone, you can control it from anywhere, which is quite nice. Now this cool thing here is this is your fuel line right here. So this is a quick disconnect. All you got to do is plug and unplug it just like that, and you can plug it into your fuel container. Now the coolest thing about it is if you get the correct kit, it comes with an adapter to be able to plug it into any Rotopax container. So you can get this can that it comes with, or you can drop it into the Rotopax container that you already own. So pretty much you can use, you know, anything from a gallon to a 5 gallon. So it really enables flexibility as far as your setup. This particular can also just clips onto the backside of this guy right there as well. So if you want to carry it as an all-in-one, you can do that. But one other really cool thing, in fact, the coolest thing, you'll notice that's red. And if you didn't catch one of the labels in there, this isn't a diesel heater. This is actually a gasoline fired heater, which is absolutely incredible. Now, gasoline heaters or gasoline diesel heaters are a very new concept to the market. There's only a couple other companies out there that are doing this. There's one other in particular that we tried to work with last year, and it was just a horrible experience. So we found the source where they were getting their heaters from, and that is this company, Vellet here. The heaters are incredible. Having not to have to carry diesel around is a big plus. If you're not running a diesel truck, that means one less fuel type that you have to carry. Most of us are already carrying spare gas containers, so it's easy just to get the kit and drop it into whatever container you have and run with it. The diesel, or rather the gasoline version, is a lot more efficient than the diesel version. It seems to burn less. In my testing, that is a 1 gallon container there, and running that heater on high all night will run through a ½ gallon of gas. So it is very efficient, and I absolutely love not having to carry diesel around with me. Now, the gasoline version does come at a higher price. I believe that this heater does start off at about $1,000, which is a lot for a heater. However, the quality of build, the thought that they put into this all-in-one construction, I've tested these things all summer long without a hitch, and the fact that you don't have to carry around an extra fuel type with you, it is absolutely worth it in my opinion. They do have a lesser expensive version that runs on the diesel instead of the gas. It's the exact same package, exact same heater, except it runs on diesel instead of gas. Both are fantastic, and I think you'll be impressed and very satisfied with both of them either way. All right, let's jump back over to the LFBros. Now, these units, as I was saying in the beginning, are tried and true, absolutely fantastic. These run about $250 on Amazon to start with, and they go up from there depending on the model that you choose. I've been running this one for quite some time and absolutely love it. Before then, I was running, you know, $150 Vivors or Edge Calories or similar units to that, and I was always having problems with them, either stopping working when I needed them most, or they'd only last about a year. We use them pretty heavily, so I wanted something that was going to be reliable, and this guy absolutely fits the bill. This unit is awesome. It's an all-in-one. Everything you need is built into it, including the gas or the diesel tank, which is really nice. All your accessories for this particular model come in this nice, awesome bag. Even the exhaust, everything fits right inside, which is really cool. Another cool feature is the cap on that. So once your fuel is in, this particular one has an automotive style locking diesel cap, which is very nice. And if you've been around diesel heaters for a while, you know that a lot of them leak fuel very badly. This one does not, and that cap is virtually leak proof. So if this were to tip over on you, either while you're traveling or at camp, diesel is not going to leak out of the top here, which is very nice. It's got a gauge on the side that shows you how much fuel you have left in this. Filling this up and running it overnight on high, you'll probably be able to get between 7 and 8 hours out of it on high. On low, you can get considerably more, but that just gives you an idea of what the internal capacity is for this type of unit. This particular one is the upgraded version, so I believe instead of $250, this one cost closer to know, $450 or so. And the difference is the heat exchanger on this one is a bit bigger. The fuel pump in that is a silent pump. You can't hear the constant ticking once that thing gets going. And it is very quiet as well. This one is quieter running than some of its other brothers for sure. This one also has the automatic altitude adjustment in it, which most people on the East Coast will never really need, but if you travel a lot, you're going to be camping at elevation. This one automatically adjusts your fuel-air ratio no matter where you are, so that heater runs at peak efficiency. Controllers that it comes with, this is a wired controller here, and it also comes with a wireless remote as well. This machine does not have Bluetooth capability, which I'm hoping they change in the future, but honestly with the remote it's not that much of a deal breaker. It would just kind of be one of those it's nice to have kind of things. Everything else on it is quick disconnect. You've got twist lock connectors for your controller and your power. You've got snap-on connectors for your intake and your output as well. It just clips right on here. Both of them are elbows, which can be adjusted at any particular angle you need, which is very nice. Very, very quiet running machine. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it is running right now, and it is extremely quiet. There is some noise around me, but the heater, once you get into bed at night, guarantee you, all you're going to hear is the moving air. The machine itself is silent. As far as the heat output on this, we are currently sitting at 327, let me do that one more time, 325 degrees on the heat exchanger. So very, very good heat output. Overall, fantastic machine. Now these are available on Amazon. You can't purchase them direct. However, I have found that with this particular company, unlike most of the other ones out there that are in the $100 and $200 category, these guys actually have fantastic customer service. So if there's ever an issue, you send them an email. They're very responsive and get you taken care of very quick. So more than anything else these days, I feel that is most important, to have customer service and a company that stands behind their product, and LFBros certainly fits that bill. Now moving over to the power supply. So in the diesel heater or gasoline heater world now, a lot of them are now starting to ship with these 110 adapters, and you can see that's how I have the LFBro plugged in right there. And the reason for that is most of your modern power stations, the 12 volt output here simply can't support anything more than 10 amps. They have a battery management system built in, and once it goes above 10 amps, it kills the power. So that's why they've been shipping with the AC adapters. And if they don't ship with one, you can grab one on Amazon very inexpensively. But essentially all this does is it converts your 12 volt power requirement from the heater, and all of these are 12 volt, and turns it into a basically a household style 110 plug. Now, one cool thing that I wanted to show you guys that I've been working on is a way around that. And the reason for looking for a way around it is simple. So if I show you the statistics, so right now that heater is running, it's pulling about 10 watts. And that is really, really good. But just having the AC or the inverter on by itself takes wattage. And basically converting it from 12 volts to 110, which converts it back 12 volts to the heater, it's a very inefficient way of doing it. And you could, if the heater would run off of it, get a lot more efficiency out of it just plugging in to your 12 volt port. But again, as we started, the problem with that is as these heaters start up, they require more wattage because of the glow plug in them than these modern power stations can put out. And this isn't just a Jackery problem, this is a problem across the board. So whether you've got a Jackery or an EcoFlow or any of the others, 10 amps is going to be about your max. And these things pull between 12 and sometimes up to 14 amps when they start up. So here's the solution to that problem, at least what I've come up with. So we've got the power cord coming from the heater, and you can see here I've got the brick plugged into the AC, but you can also see that I have got a essentially a split in it. So I've got power coming from the heater, or going to the heater rather, to the brick, to the 110, but there's also this. So essentially right now, with the 12 volt on and the 110 on, I'm double powering the heater. I've got two different power sources going into it. So you've turned on your heater, you see it surge up to, 140, 150 watts, which would normally kill this, but because the AC side is on, it handles that just fine. Once the glow plug turns off and that heater stabilizes, you see we're now at about 10 watts, 10 to 15 watts, 87.5 hours of runtime. What I can do now is, again, with the DC side on, the AC side on, both of them feeding the same heater at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the AC side off. So heater is still running. Don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's still running. I'm going to unplug the AC cord. Heater is still running uninterrupted. And now my wattage has dropped. I'm gonna wait for it to stabilize there to 6 to 7 watts at 99.8 hours of run time. So I've increased the amount of time that my heater will run on this power unit because I've dropped the wattage. I'm not having to run the AC side, and I get more runtime that way, and I get more efficiency that way. So essentially I've just hacked the power cord and tricked this to be able to run off of any power station. Now you'll see I'm just using Quick Connect, so I can unplug and plug in that AC adapter at any time. Now the only other thing is, when you turn off the diesel heater, you will want to be back on AC power. And the reason for that is, when you turn off the heater, the glow plug turns back on as the heater is winding down. And I'll actually show you what that looks like, just making sure that's on here. So I'm gonna go and power it off the heater. You'll see the output wattage is actually spiking up. It's at 90, 146, 147, and normally that would trip this every time. So it would immediately kill power to the heater, which is very bad for it to kill power to it all at once when it's hot like that. The fan needs to keep running until that machine is cooled down. So yeah, turning the AC on when I need it and turning it off when I don't, and that increases the efficiency and lets you run your power station longer between recharging. One other really quick thing I want to mention, most of your heaters that you're going to buy now come with a really short section of air duct that looks like this. Now these are fantastic. I've gone through a ton of ducts over the year in testing, and they all either smell horrible when the heat's on, or they burn up, or they just disintegrate on you, which results in a bad night for sure. So these ones are absolutely the way to go. However, they are short, too short for most applications. So I did find the company that actually makes these. I found a link where you can go and get a very long version of it. So I will post a link on this video to where you can actually go on Amazon and purchase long lengths of that stuff. It is the best piping that I have seen for the heaters. Just make sure you get the correct diameter. Most of them use the same, but some of the bigger heaters now, the bigger LFBros, use a larger diameter piping. Just keep that in mind, but that is the way to go. All right, enough of me for now. Information on both of these heaters is available on our website, 207overland.com. Just check out the partners and sponsors section for more details. Whether you go with the Vellet or the LFBros, they're both fantastic heaters. Again, if you really want to get into winter camping, having a tent heater is an absolute game changer. It makes it not only comfortable, but warm and enjoyable. It's a dry heat, which keeps the moisture out, and it's just a fantastic way to extend your camping season further. These are far better than any of the other ones that you're going to find on Amazon. Don't waste your money on the $100, $150 units that you see out there. They're all built the same. They're all built very cheaply. The components in them are as base as they come. There's no after purchase support if you have an issue. These have been tested and working for the long run. They fire up every time. I've never had an issue with it, and that's important because when it's 10 degrees out with a -20 wind chill, you need to be able to stay warm in your tent, and these are units that I can trust, and I wouldn't hesitate to go out with them any time of the year. And lastly, just to circle back, if you're looking for something that is an absolute game changer right now, the Velit gasoline powered heater is fantastic. Their design, the customer service behind it, and just the fact that I can plug this into any gas container and run it off of gas and not have to carry diesel around is a huge plus. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this encourages you to get involved in some winter camping. We've got a lot of really cool stuff that's going to be released on our schedule for 2026 soon. We've got some winter camping trips coming up before the year is out. Hope to see you out there.